Previously, we have started with the full wave rectifier. We have seen its operation in both positive and negative half cycles, and we have also seen the waveform of the load current and output voltage of a full wave rectifier. Right? We have seen load current is I naught, that is Im sin omega t, and V naught is I naught into RL. We have also seen the operation, and we have derived some parameters like average or DC load current IDC. We have found that to be 2 Im by pi, and average or DC load voltage VDC we obtained as 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by Rn, and also RMS or AC value of load current I naught is Im by root 2, and Vrms we have obtained as Vm by root 2 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rn. The next one we have is percentage regulation. We have seen what a percentage regulation is in half wave rectifier. It's the variation of DC output voltage as a function of DC load current, right? So you can express it mathematically as V no load minus V load divided by V load into 100% if you want it in terms of percentage. So where V no load is the output voltage when there is no load current or when the load current is zero, and V load is output voltage when the load current is equal to the normal load current, right? Output voltage when there is load current. So ideally, we have said, or we have seen that V no load is equal to V load, because output voltage is independent of load current. Whether there is load current or whether there is no load current, the load voltage, output voltage has to be same, ideally. But practically, there is some variation in the output voltage as the load current changes. So that is what we call regulation. Okay, so ideally percentage regulation is 0, but practically we will have some value for that. So we will find it out. So V load is the output voltage when RL is drawing the normal load current. Normal load current means that is normal VDC. What is the formula for VDC in full wave rectifier? In full wave rectifier, VDC is 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by RL. Right, this is what we have derived. 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by RL. And when there is no load, that means resistance is infinite. If resistance is infinite, if you put RL is infinity here, anything divided by infinity is 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So the denominator becomes 1. So when RL is infinity, this will become V no load. That will be just be equal to 2 Vm by pi. Right. So this is V load. This is V no load. These two, if you substitute in that equation 1, that is percentage regulation, is equal to V no load minus V load divided by V load into 100%. This is V no load, that is 2 Vm by pi, minus V load, that is 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl, divided by V load, that is 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl into 100%. So what is common among this? In these two, 2 Vm by pi is common. 2 Vm by pi is common. I can keep it outside. Similarly, here there is 2 Vm by pi. I can keep it outside like this. 2 Vm by pi is common. What is the factor remaining is 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl. Then 2 Vm by pi, if I keep separate, I can write this as 1 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl. So here, if I take the common denominator as 1 plus Rf by Rl, this factor is multiplied by 1 plus Rf by Rl, then there is minus 1. So it is 1 plus Rf by Rl minus 1, right? Divided by the common denominator is 1 plus Rf by Rl. And this 2 Vm by pi, 2 Vm by pi, they are common. I can cancel them, right? So what remains in the numerator is 1 plus Rf by Rl minus 1, 1 plus Rf by Rl minus 1 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl. Then in the denominator, you have 1 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl. In both numerator and denominator, the denominators are 1 plus Rf by Rl. They get cancelled. And what remains? 1 minus 1 get cancelled, and only Rf by Rl will remain. So percentage regulation is again the same. That is Rf by Rl into 100%. Right? So we have said ideally regulation has to be 0. You can prove that even here. Ideally, the forward resistance of a diode is 0. So if you put 0 here, in for an ideal diode, percentage regulation is 0. Right? So it's the ratio of diode's forward resistance to the load resistance. That is percentage regulation. The next parameter we had is efficiency, or the rectification efficiency. efficiency, it's the ratio of DC output power to the AC input power, right? Ratio of DC output power to the AC input power, PDC divided by PI. So how do you find PDC? It is IDC square into RL, because at the load you have only the load resistance at the output. IDC square into RL. What is the value of IDC in case of a full wave rectifier? IDC is 2 Im by pi, right? 2 Im by pi, the whole square into RL. If I find this, 2 square is 4, Im square divided by pi square, right? So 4 Im square divided by pi square into RL. This I can take as PDC. So PDC is 4 Im square RL divided by pi square. Another term we have is PI. So PI is IRMS square into RF plus RL, because at the input you have the resistance. You need to consider the resistance RF also. And since it is AC value, we will take IRMS square into RF plus RL. What is IRMS in case of a full wave rectifier? IRMS is Im by root 2, right? Im by root 2, the whole square. This is for a full wave rectifier, right? So Im by root 2, the whole square into RF plus RL. So if I find the square, Im square divided by root 2 square. What is it? Im square divided by root 2 square. Root 2 square will be 2. So what do I get then? Im square divided by 2 into RF plus RL. Im square divided by 2 into RF plus RL. So our PDC, we got it as 4 Im square divided by pi square into RL. Pi, we have got it as Im square divided by 2 into RF plus RL. If I substitute these two in equation number 1, that is efficiency is PDC divided by Pi. PDC is 4 Im square RL divided by pi square. Pi is Im square by 2 into RF plus RL. Im square and Im square is common. I can cancel them. Then there is 1 by 2 in the denominator. If I take it up, it will be 2. So 4 into 2 will become 8 divided by pi square into RL divided by RF plus R. Right? So I'll get 8 divided by pi square into RL divided by RF plus RL. Now what is this 8 divided by pi square? If you find 8 divided by pi square will give you 0.8105. Right? 0.8105 into RL divided by RF plus R. So if I divide the numerator and denominator by RL, I can write this in that form of 1 divided by 1 plus RF by RL, right? So that will become 0.8105 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. Next, if I want to find this in terms of percentage, I have to multiply this by 100. If I multiply by 100, I'll get it like 81.05 divided by 1 plus RF by RL, that much percentage. That's the efficiency in case of a full wave rectifier. So you can see it's doubled. In the case of half wave rectifier, this term was 40.5, right? Here you have got it 81.05. It's doubled, because here you are obviously it's because of the both the half cycles coming to the output. So maximum efficiency, it can be achieved for an ideal diode. So if you substitute RF is equal to 0, because in an ideal diode, forward resistance of a diode is 0. So if you put RF is equal to 0 here, you will get maximum efficiency, that is 81.05%. Still, some 20% or 19% of the input, it is getting wasted in the circuit. Right? So, but still, it is this efficiency is far better than what you have obtained in a half wave rectifier, right? So this is about the rectification efficiency when it comes to full wave rectifier. That maximum efficiency we can obtain is 81.05%. Next parameter you had is the ripple factor. What is the ripple factor? It is the amount of the ripples that you have in the output. Ripples is the AC component. So it's the ratio of RMS value of AC component present in the rectified output to the DC component of the rectified output. AC component is VAC, DC component is VDC. So we have obtained this, right? From the power equation, you can get that expression for ripple factor. The total power, it includes both sum of DC as well as AC. Then, for total power, you can take RMS into consideration, and here VDC and VAC. Then if you find VRMS square will be VDC square plus VAC square. If I divide throughout by VDC square, you will get this form, right? Here it is VDC square by VDC square is 1. Here VRMS by VDC the whole square, and here VAC by VDC the whole square. So VAC by VDC is what is the ripple factor. If I rearrange it, and I'll finally get that gamma or the ripple factor is square root of VRMS divided by VDC the whole square minus 1. So in this equation, if you substitute the values of VRMS and VDC for a full wave rectifier, you will get that value for ripple factor. What is VRMS in a full wave rectifier? VRMS is Vm by root 2 divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl, and VDC is 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus Rf by Rl. So if I put that here, this is VRMS and VDC, and simplify. 1 plus Rf by Rl is common, cancel it. Vm and Vm, that's common, you can cancel that. What remains is pi is there in the denominator here. If it goes above, it will become pi divided by 2 into root 2 the whole square, right? So you'll get pi divided by 2 root 2 the whole square. If I simplify that, it will become pi square divided by 2 root 2 whole square will become 8. Is it right? So it is square root of pi square by 8 minus 1. So if I simplify this, what is the value you get? Can anyone calculate and tell what is the value you get? Square root of pi square by 8 minus 1. What is the value? 0.483. Yes, correct. So you will get 0.483. This is the ripple factor for a full wave rectifier. So what this means, see, in half wave rectifier it was like 1.21. AC component was more than the DC component. Here it is almost half of the DC component, like 0.5, near to 0.5, but it's 0.483. So VAC by VDC is 0.483. That means VAC is 0.483 into VDC. Okay, that's the meaning of this ripple factor. Then there is one more term, that is the peak inverse voltage. What is peak inverse voltage? Maximum amount of reverse voltage that you can subject the diode to, right? So if it becomes more than that, there is a reverse breakdown of the diode and it gets damaged. So to find this, we will consider the equivalent circuit of the full wave rectifier during any of the half cycles. Now we'll consider positive half cycle. This is the secondary, right? So it's a center tap transformer. So we have equal voltages induced in both the halves of the secondary, V2 at the upper half, V2 in the lower half also. So while finding this equivalent circuit, while finding this peak inverse voltage in the equivalent circuit, we will eliminate the load. We will remove that load. Okay, we just want the reverse voltage across the diode. If you consider positive half cycle, D1 is forward biased, D2 is reverse biased. If you consider negative half cycle, D2 is forward biased, D1 is reverse biased. You can take either of them and find it. I have taken positive half cycle. D1 is forward biased. I have replaced D1 with its equivalent circuit as a short circuit and not considered the forward resistance. While finding reverse voltage, we need not consider that. We will replace conducting diode D1 with a short circuit and non-conducting diode, that is D2, with an open circuit. Right? Now, what will be the total voltage? Here there is V2 and here there is V2. So total voltage is V2 plus V2. That is 2 times V2. And where is that appearing? That total V2 is appearing across this D2 as VR. Right? From the circuit, we can say V2 plus V2 will be equal to VR. So what is that VR? It is the instantaneous reverse voltage. So VR will be equal to V2 plus V2. That is 2 times of V2. And what is my V2? It is Vm sine omega t. So it is Vm sine omega t. So VR is now 2 Vm sine omega t. Now what is peak inverse voltage? It is the peak value of this inverse voltage or the reverse voltage, right? So what is the peak value now? What is the peak value? So this is the peak value, that is 2 Vm. That's why the peak inverse voltage in case of a full wave rectifier is, so maximum value of this, maximum value is 2 Vm. So it is 2 times of the peak value of the input voltage, that is 2 Vm. In case of half wave rectifier, it was just Vm, and here it is actually because of the center tap transformer, we are getting 2 Vm as the peak inverse voltage, right? So with this, we have finished all the derivation part. We have seen all the parameters, just like we have seen in half wave rectifier. Next, we will solve some numerical examples of the problems based on full wave rectifier. The first one we have, so you have been given that the input to a full wave rectifier is P of t, that is equal to 200 sine 50t. If RL is 1 kilo ohms, if RL is 1 kilo ohms and forward resistance of diode is 50 ohms, find the DC current through the circuit, the AC or RMS value of current through the circuit, then the DC output voltage, AC power input, DC power output, and rectifier efficiency. So these are the things you are given and you are asked to find. So V of t is given, that is instantaneous value of the input voltage is given as 500 sine 50t. RL is 1 kilo ohms. Forward resistance of diode, that is RF, is 50 ohms. We are asked to find all these things. So first write the given things. V of t is 200 sine 50t. RL is 1K, that is, you can also write it as 1000 ohms. RF is 50 ohms. So we have been given in this particular format, instantaneous value, right? So comparing this with Vm sin omega t, what is the value of Vm? Vm is 200 volts and this omega is 50 radians per second. So Vm is 200 volts. That is the peak value. Vm is 200 volts, right? So from this Vm, we can find Im. Once you get Vm, now see here the input is given as this. The turns ratio is not given. So we will assume that the turns ratio, your N1 is to N2, it is 1 is to 1, and input and output, the primary and secondary voltages are the same, and we will continue. Okay, if turns ratio is given, then you have to find the secondary voltage and then continue. So when it is not given, we will directly take that as the value of the V2 itself and we will proceed. Right? I hope you got that. So Vm, we will take it as 200 volts. Then we will find our required things. So we need, what are the things we need? DC current through the circuit, that is IDC, IRMS, VDC, then PAC or PI, input power, output power, and efficiency. So you have this IDC, sorry, first find Im. Im is Vm divided by Rf plus RL. Vm is 200 divided by Rf is, what was the RF? 50, and RL is 1000. So if you calculate, you get 190.48 milliamps, right? Im, you get 190.48 milliamps. So using this, you find the DC value of the current, DC load current. So in case of full wave rectifier, the formula for IDC is 2 Im by pi. Do not use that Im by pi. It is for half wave rectifier. For a full wave rectifier, it is 2 Im by pi. So 2 into Im is 190.48 divided by pi. What is the answer? It is 121.26. Okay. Anas got 120.95. How is that? No, you get this 121.26 IDC. Anyone else? Yes, 121.3. Okay, nearby. Do not approximate pi to 3.14. Okay, use it as it is. Use pi in the calculator while substituting. Next, IRMS. What is the value of, what is the formula for IRMS? It is Im by root 2. In full wave rectifiers, IRMS is Im by root 2. So Im is 190.48. What do you get? Now what is this value, Anas? 134.69 milliamps. This is the value of IRMS. Right? IRMS is 134.69. Next, you are asked to find DC output voltage. DC output voltage is VDC, that is IDC into RL. What is IDC? 121.26 milliamps. RL is 1000 or 1K, right? So if I substitute 121.26 into 1K, you'll get 121.26 volts. This is DC or average output voltage. Next, you can also find VRMS, though it is not asked here. You can find that, VRMS is IRMS into RL. IRMS is given as, you obtained that as this particular thing, just substitute, you'll get 134.69 volts, because this is in milli and kilo, they get cancelled actually, and same value will be 134.69 volts. You are asked to find input power and output power. You can find that AC input power is PI. It is IRMS square into RF plus RL. Just substitute whatever values you got. IRMS is 134.69 milli. Please use this while squaring, and then 50 plus 1000. So what do you get here in terms of watts? 19.05. Yes, 19.048 watts. Right? This is PI 19.048. That is the input power. Then to find the output power, you use this IDC square into RL. IDC you have obtained as 121.26 milliamps. So square it, multiply by 1K, that is 1000. 14.7. Yeah, exactly. 14.704 watts. This is the output power. So how to find efficiency now? Efficiency is PDC divided by PI into 100% in terms of percentage. PDC divided by PI into 100%. PDC is 14.704, PI is 19.048. What do you get? 77.19 exactly. You get 77.19 percentage. That's the efficiency of this full wave rectifier. You can see it's very good compared to what we have obtained in half wave rectifier. You used to get 36, maximum 40 percentage, right? Here you get 77.1. And whatever value you get, it should not be more than 81.05. It's more, it's wrong. Okay, maximum efficiency is 81. It cannot be more than that. So what you have got is right, maybe 77.19. So that's all is asked here, right? We will just try to find the ripple factor. This is, though it is not asked, we will find the ripple factor. Ripple factor we can find using gamma, that is square root of VRMS by VDC the whole square minus 1. Just substitute this VRMS and VDC, whatever you have found. VRMS you found as 134.69 volts, VDC you found as 121.26 volts. Square them, subtract by 1. What do you get? You'll get it as 0.48. If you get it right, you know your answers are correct. Then you can also find the percentage regulation. Though it is not asked, you can find it. It is again RF by RL into 100%. RF is 50, RL is 1000. So if you find in terms of percentage, 0.05 into 100, that is 5%. Percentage regulation is 5. Then peak inverse voltage also you can find. Peak inverse voltage is 2 into Vm in case of full wave rectifier. Vm you have found to be 200. 2 into 200 is 400 volts. So peak inverse voltage is 400 volts. So this, though it is not asked, we have just calculated it. So if it is asked in any problem, we should be able to solve with a similar way, right? So that's about this example. We will take next example. In the next example, it is given like this. The input voltage applied to the primary of a 4:1 step-down transformer of a full wave center tap rectifier is 230 volts, 50 hertz. If the load resistance is 600 ohms and forward resistance is 20 ohms, determine the following. You are asked to find DC output power, rectification efficiency, and peak inverse voltage. How to find this? So you have been given the turns ratio 4:1 step down transformer of a full wave center tap rectifier. Okay, it is a center tap rectifier, means you are using two diodes. The circuit is also given in the problem. Even if they do not give, the statement covers everything. Still, you can solve it. The load resistance, it is given here. It is 600 ohms. Input is given as 230 volts, 50 hertz here, supply voltage. Then forward resistance of diodes are 20 ohms each. How to proceed? See, here the turns ratio is given as 4:1. Input is given as 230 volts. You can take it as V1. Okay, V1 is 230 volts. Frequency is 50 hertz. We are not going to use this 50 hertz anywhere. Still, it's given. We will just note it down. N1 is to N2 is given as 4:1. Load resistance RL is 600 ohms. Forward resistance RF is 20 ohms. First, we need to find what is V2. From V2, we have to find what is Vm, right? Then you can proceed. turns ratio is given as 4:1. So here remember, this is a center tap transformer. In a center tap transformer, we have seen that the secondary voltage, equal amounts of secondary voltage is induced in both the halves of the secondary. So if this is V1, okay, if this is V1, this will be V2 and this is also V2. So what is the total voltage here? It is V2 in the upper half and V2 in the lower half. So it is V2 plus V2, right? V2 plus V2 in the secondary, because the turns ratio, when it is mentioned, it is for the entire coil, including upper half and the lower half. So the voltage induced in the secondary of this center tap transformer is 2V2. It is 2V2 actually, because V2 in the upper half and V2 in the lower half. So if I write the turns ratio, the relation between turns ratio and the voltages of the primary and secondary, it is not N1 by N2 is equal to V1 by V2 in the case of normal transformer. There it is this. There it would be N1 by N2 is equal to V1 by V2. But in this center tap transformer, the turns ratio N1 by N2 will be equal to the voltage in the primary is V1 divided by the voltage, total voltage of the secondary, that is V1 plus V2, that is 2V2. Please, you have to remember this particular thing. In a center tap transformer, N1 by N2 is equal to V1 by 2V2, because equal amounts of voltage are induced in both the halves of the secondary, right? Then you have to find what is V2 from this. If you rearrange this, 2V2 will be N2 by N1 into V1. So V2 will be N2 by 2N1. This 2 will come here into V1. If I find it, N1 is to N2 was 4:1. So N2 by N1 is 1 by 4 and 2 is there here. So into V1 you obtained as 230 volts. So if you calculate 230 divided by 8, what is V2? 28.75, exactly 28.75 volts. This is my value for V2, 28.75 volts. So now once you get V2, you can find Vm. What is Vm? Vm is root 2 into V2. Root 2 into 28.75. What do you get? What is the value of Vm? 40.658. Yes, exactly. Vm, or the peak value, is 40.658. Please remember this change in case of center tap transformer. Whenever turns ratio is given, you have to make use of this particular thing, because V2 is induced twice. I mean, at both upper half and lower half. So it is twice V2, 2 times of V2. So using this V2, you find Im. What are the things you are asked to find here? You're asked to find output power, efficiency, and PIV. So you find IDC, IRMS, efficiency, then PIV. Okay. Yeah, IM you can find as VM divided by RF plus RL. VM is 40.658 divided by RF is 20, RL is 600. If you calculate, you'll get the value of IM as 65.57. Yeah, 65.577, 65.58 in approximate. Once you get IM, you can find IDC and IRMS. If you get IDC and IRMS, you can find input and output power. If you find input and output power, you can find efficiency. What is IDC? IDC is 2 Im by pi. 2 into 65.577 divided by pi, you'll get 41.747. Yeah, Umair has calculated. IRMS is Im by root 2. Im is 65.577 divided by root 2. If you calculate, you'll get 46.36. Yeah, 46.36. So once you get IDC and IRMS, we can find load voltage. Actually, this is not asked. You can just find this. Load voltage is IDC into RL. You'll get it as 25.048. Low RMS, DC load voltage is 25.048. VRMS is IRMS into RL. Use IRMS, RL is 600, you get 27.821. So you are actually asked efficiency or AC input power and DC output power. So AC input power is IRMS square into RF plus RL. IRMS is 46.369 milli. You square it and multiply with 20 plus 600. What is the input power? 1.33. Yes. 1.33 watts. Then what is output power? PDC. It is IDC square into RL. IDC is 41.747 milli square into 600. What do you obtain? 1.046. Yeah, it is PDC. Based on this, find efficiency. PDC by PI into 100%. 1.045 by 1.33. You'll get this 78.39. Just calculate. What is the rectification efficiency? 1.045 divided by 1.333 into 100. 78.39. Okay. That's damage. 78.39. So peak inverse voltage is also asked, right? Peak inverse voltage. What is peak inverse voltage? 2 times of Vm. Here Vm you have found as 40.658. 2 times of that you will get 81.316. That is the peak inverse voltage. So this is how you can solve any given problem. Whenever turns ratios are given in case of center tap rectifier or a center tap transformer for a full wave rectifier, you have to be careful while finding the V2, right? So we'll take another example. A full wave rectifier uses 2 diodes having internal resistance of 10 ohms each. Internal resistance is just the forward resistance of 10 ohms each. The transformer RMS secondary voltage from center to each end is 200 volts. Find IM, IDC, IRMS and VDC if the load is 800 ohms. It is a very simple one. It is given that the transformer RMS secondary voltage from center to each end is 200. The RMS secondary voltage is whatever the voltage you mentioned, that is the RMS value, right? That is RMS value. So do not get confused if the term RMS is mentioned. That's why I have selected this particular problem. If at all it is given as some particular voltage, you just mention that is V2. And whatever value is given, that is RMS value, right? That is given as 200 volts. The internal resistance RF is 10 ohms, load resistance is 800 ohms. So the given V2 is RMS value. So you have to find the peak value Vm by using Vm is equal to root 2 into V2. Root 2 into 200. So what do you get? You'll get 282.84. Root 2 is 1.414, right? So it will be 1.44 into 200. That is 282.84 volts. That is my value of Vm. Once you get Vm, you can find Im. From Im, you can find IDC and IRMS. From that, you can find VDC and VRMS. Though we are asked only VDC. You can find VRMS just by using the formula. So what is IM? IM is Vm divided by RF plus RL. Vm we have found to be 282.84 divided by RF is 10 and load resistance is 800 ohms. If you calculate this, you have obtained 349.185 milliamps, right? IM is 349.185 milliamps. From this, you can find IDC, the DC load current IDC. It is 2 Im by pi, 2 into 349.185 divided by pi. What you obtained? 222.298. Yes, exactly. Then IRMS or RMS value of load current is Im by root 2. Im is 349.185 divided by root 2. If you calculate, it is 246.91. Yeah, Anas, right? Then VDC is also asked. VDC is IDC into RL. IDC is 222.298. RL is 800. To find that will be how much? 177.8. Correct. 177.836 volts. So VRMS is not asked. You can just find that using IRMS. You'll obtain it as 148.1. Right? Okay. So it's a simple one. Only I have chosen this problem because in the question, if they have given as RMS voltage is mentioned, it is the same as whatever V2 you take. That's the RMS value itself. Then from that, you have to find the peak value using Vm, that is equal to root 2 into Vt, right? So the next problem we will see one more similar one. Here, a full wave rectifier supplies a load of 1000 ohms. The AC voltage applied to it is 200 volts RMS. If diode resistance is neglected, calculate IDC, IRMS, and efficiency. So these are the things asked. See, the load resistance is given as 1000 ohms. AC voltage applied is given as 200. That means it is a center tap transformer. Whenever the voltage is given in this way, in the upper half it is 200, at the center it is grounded, center tap, so it is 0, and the lower half of the secondary it is 200, right? Do not get confused if such types of inputs are given, right? This is V2. Whatever value is given, that is V2, that is in the secondary half of the transformer. We have 200 and 200 in both the halves of the secondary. Center is grounded, so we show it as 0. And whatever value is mentioned, it is RMS value. Again, if it is not mentioned RMS, still it is RMS. Okay, do not get confused. RMS is mentioned here. You take it as RMS value. Even if it is not mentioned, if it is just given 200 volts, it is still the RMS value, and you have to find the peak value by taking root 2 into whatever value is given. Okay, and here the load is given as 1000 ohms, that is RL is given, and diode resistance is neglected, means you can take RF is equal to 0. Just like in case of ideal diode, RF is 0. Diode resistance is neglected, that means you can take RF is equal to 0 and calculate. Right? So first write the given things. V2 is given as 200 volts. RL is 1000. You take RF as 0 because it is given diode resistance is neglected. So V2, whatever value it is given, it is RMS value. Even if it is not given, you have to take that it is RMS value and find the peak value by using root 2 into V2. Root 2 into V2 is 200, root 2 into 200, same thing, that is 282.84. Since it is 200 again, at the same value of Vm like in previous problem, that is 282.84. Now find IDC and IRMS. To find IDC and IRMS, you will need IM. IM is Vm divided by RF plus RL. You can also write it as Vm divided by RL here because RF is 0. Or you can use the same formula and put RF is 0 and find IM. What is IM? 282.84 divided by 1000 will give you 282.84 milliamps, right? Yes, 282.84 milliamps. From IM, I can find IDC. IDC is 2 IM by pi. 2 into 282.84 milli divided by pi. What do I get? IM I get as 180. Sorry, IDC. IDC I get as 180.06 milliamps. Next, RMS value of the load current is asked. RMS value is IRMS. That is IM by root 2. Rehan, Ibrahim. Yeah. What is the answer for IRMS? 200, obviously, because we had obtained that RMS value 282.24. When you multiply it with root, you divide by root 2, you'll get 200 milliamps. Right? So you have been asked this IDC and IRMS, then also efficiency. To find efficiency, we will calculate using the same IRMS and IDC. PI is IRMS square into RF plus RL. What is RF? RF is 0. So it is IRMS square into RL. IRMS is 200 milli. You square and multiply with 1000, you'll get 40 watts. PDC is IDC square into RL. IDC is 180.06 milli. The whole square into 1000. What is the value of PDC? 32.42. Yes, 32.42 watts. This is PDC. From this, can you find efficiency? Efficiency is PDC divided by PI into 100%. PDC is 32.42, PI is 40. So you'll get 81.05. You have to get 81.05 in this case. You know why? Because RF is 0. We have neglected forward resistance of the diode. If the forward resistance of a diode is 0, it's like an ideal diode. And for an ideal diode, you get maximum efficiency. And maximum efficiency in case of full wave rectifier is 81.05%. Right? So you can also calculate directly by using 81.05 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. RF is 0, so you get maximum efficiency in this case, that is 81.05%. Right? So this This is the way you can solve the numerical examples for a full wave rectifier based on the equations of different parameters that we have obtained. In the next class, we will take up another kind of full wave rectifier that is using 4 diodes, which are connected in the form of a bridge. We rather call it a bridge rectifier, and we will see its operation and uh, also the different parameters for that, and solve some examples, numerical examples if there are any.